driving back on Christmas from a ice skating Christmas party. A stormy night, a tree fell on my vehicle, and you know, the details don't really matter, but yeah, steering column, airbags, blasted my eyes out, and I ended up losing my vision in both eyes, with retinal detachments in both eyes. So I'm fully blind for 4 months in both eyes, and I had to go through multiple retinal detachment surgeries, which, if you want to Google it at your own risk, watch it. It's extremely severe, and right now, even as I'm talking to you guys, 80% of my eyes are synthetic. All the front of my eyes are amputated. I don't have a lens, pupil, iris, any of that stuff. All the inside of my eyes, I have no vitreous. I have scleral buckle around the back of my eyes. You know, you can't really tell. Money does make it look kind of normal. Can you tell? No. Yeah, so can't really tell, but yeah, 80% synthetic eyes, and I don't see anywhere near what I saw before. So the surgeries were basically successful to the degree that they can be, but I can't even begin to explain to you what that process was like when you lose your vision. It's not like losing your car. It's not like you can't find your favorite pair of jeans. But think about what you feel like when you can't find your phone.
Yeah. Well, and there's what, 5 senses, and it's interesting to think of, like, you know, if you had to pick a sense to lose, which one would you pick to lose?
And you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I would rather lose my sight over hearing." A lot of musicians say that. I'm a musician. It's not true.
Yeah.
You'll lose your sound, your hearing any day. Nobody will choose vision. It's just too important. So when you're losing that, there's a sense of mortality. Like, you know you're gonna die, but now you know you're gonna die. Now it's like, because the first part of dying is already happening. So it's very like.
And yeah, you told me that when the diagnosis came through, the doctor said, like, be prepared to never be able to see again.
Manage your expectations. Understand that 40% of these don't work, and you have it in both eyes, and it may not attach. And actually, it didn't. It redetached. In the first, I did it 3 times in both eyes. So now I'm 2 years in now, so I'm thinking it's gonna stay. But if I could have a message to anybody, you know, that you think that, imagine you can't find your phone for a day. How upset you are. I couldn't.
That's so scary to me. Like, it's thought of losing my phone.
I wasn't able to read my phone for an entire year. And this was after I spent 3 months not seeing a single thing for 3 months.
And what was your support system like, especially in that first year?
Actually, it was pretty good. I was dating someone at the time that was pretty amazing, was very supportive of me, and I have like a twin brother that was there for me. So in that sense, I was lucky. I had that, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't. Probably some bad things, but that's important, very, very important. And actually, it was another friend one day just sitting down, and she's nonchalant said to me, it's a friend of my girlfriend at the time, said, "You know what, if you go blind, then you go blind, and we'll go down that road with you." And she really meant it. I know it sounds like hard to absorb that, but I know she meant that. And there was a part of me that was like, you know, I actually won't lose my friends. Mm. And so I don't know why. It's kind of like, you know, when you go through these moments where you randomly want to look at car crashes on Google. I don't know if you do that, but I decided I wanted to Google other tragic things that have happened to people, and I just was listening, and you know, to an 11-year-old girl just lost her vision, and you know, a 5-year-old kid who lost his life, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I different? Like, why do I get to complain that I'm losing that, and they have to lose that? And so this is where like a different journey started. Like in this, everyone says they have some. You know, I thought I was a pretty spiritual person. This is a whole other level. This is like you're forced into a zone. It's not about reading something, doing a mantra. It's none of this stuff. It's like the real thing. Like it's like walking the walk. because there's no choice here. There's
Yeah,
no,
and
there's
just,
no
just
like,
accepting that like that's the new path, that's the card that's been dealt, and just moving forward. A story that I can share with you is of this DJ. He's one of Canada's favorite. His name is Matt the Alien. He pioneered stages behind Shambhala and Bass Coast, and several years ago he was in a mountain bike accident, and he became paralyzed from the neck down, and like the whole Canadian, especially like Western Canadian electronic dance music industry, like really was so upset about the news that we would lose our favorite Matt the Alien, campaigning for his health, and he's gotten back to the stage, and he was able to recuperate and still have the use of his arms. Like he's still quadriplegic, I believe, like from like the chest down, but his arms still work. So he was able to recuperate with so much assistance from like the industry, and his arms still work, and he has produced so much in that recovery. And now it has really revolutionized and pushed festivals forward, especially Bass Coast, to make access like ramps at festivals and make and like really make sure that like festivals are accessible.
Even when you say this, you know, the majority of people when they think of a disabled person or a handicapped, person, even from the get-go, you are putting this person in a box, and you're saying they're disabled.
You don't want to sound like a victim card in a way,
but
right?
they are
like,
just
you need accessibility.
They're a person. Like if you knew me and knew what I was doing, and you saw me and the way I worked with my friends, and the places I went to and the stages I sang on and anything I did, that's who I was. Yeah. I wasn't
but
a blind
it's still
person.
who you are. It's still who you are.
Yeah.
You just require a couple other steps and support.
I think what's important is that you have to not forget who you were. It's very easy to forget it, and I went through some pretty dark moments. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat that and make it seem like I just. I'll tell you one thing is a real test. You read a bunch of books, take yoga, you think you're spiritual. Your whole life is this lesson, right? And then something like this happens, and now it's putting you to the test. And I remember saying to myself, what was everything I ever said, did, read, stressed, walked, stoned, what does it all mean? If right now I cowardly just want to cry, and I did cry many, many times.
Men should cry. All men should. Everyone should cry. Everyone should. Crying is healthy.
There was just times where I just lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just walked around and there was and I just was like, I was done.
But cry and call your friends when you're crying.
Yeah, but this is the moment where it's like, okay, you want to say you're ready. Oh, something that really helped me was, I passed by my parents, both my parents had passed away. I saw them and I realized we all die. When we get older, we don't start screaming and saying, oh my God, I'm about to die. We accept it. I had to accept it. And I couldn't. I knew I had to, but I didn't. And I just kept telling myself every morning I woke up, Kevin, today's the day you're going to accept the fact that you might be blind. I couldn't do it. I kept going on. And something happened like 2 months in. I don't know what it was. I just woke up one day. I couldn't see. After 2 months, I couldn't see anything. I was just walking or feeling the walls, whatever. And I just remember saying to myself, you know what? I could just be some weird blind guru on YouTube or something. I can do something, right? I'd be of some use. I got something up here. And there was a moment in me, I'm like, okay, you know what? Fine.
Just accept it, the new path.
When I did,
like to stop fighting it.
Once I did, I'm telling you, it was so great because a week later, there was like some light in my right eye, and I was like really stoked about that. And then there was and then faster in my left eye. Then I had gray, and then I had shadows, and everything that came in. It was the most amazing thing. Like I could see a doorway. The first time I could see a person's outline. And it never got to the vision you have now. But it's just when you can accept that you're never gonna have it, you're everything. You're so grateful for anything and everything you get, So that was the key for me, was actually getting to a point where I had to accept that's what it was. And we all have to do this with life. You're gonna die. I don't care what religion you are or not, what you read or what you do. You have to do that. right? So the reason we have any appreciation of life, the reason it has any value, is only one reason. It's because it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So that was the thing for me, is accepting it and realizing like there is never a forever thing, and to be grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, some things are super hard. They really are, but there's a lot that I'm doing. I mean, there's just some people, you know what makes me smile? Is when I'm doing a bunch of things and someone says, hey, I need to look at the thing. Okay, I missed one thing. They didn't get the entire time, but I barely can see what they're looking at, you know?
Yeah, they don't even see your
And
disability.
that makes
They're blind to your disability.
I love
And you've been able to like bounce back that much. And yeah, I know, yeah, you're definitely not 2020 from what happened to you in 2020 with that horrific car accident. But you were telling me that life is beautifully perceived now in a way that
it's
you see, yeah, you see life in watercolor. In a way where actually it's a bit of a beautiful gift in a way.
I'm not
where you're not, I know, but you're.
It really is.
It's really cool that you're saying that you're not so distracted about what we visually absorb with us, like that have the 2020 vision to look at like this huge LA valley of like so much where like you can just focus and just see life in watercolors. And you were also saying that girls also look like really sexy and young.
Yeah. They're all suddenly so smart.
You just have to laugh at it.
No,
so,
it's actually really good.
so yeah, like it's now like maybe a gift. Like,
Yeah, I'm not even kidding about that. It actually is a pretty amazing thing. Like, so many things that you thought mattered so much, it just doesn't. You drop your iPhone, you scratch it, you just don't care. Like, it's just not that important, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta have someone else tell me if I have cat hair on me, and they'll take it off me or whatever. And there's certain things, I haven't got a chance today to look at the mirror yet. But if I do, and I can see myself, I can do it. It just takes a few more seconds to do it. That's all. It's not that bad. And yes, now I finally have reached the point where days can go by, an entire day will go by, and I will forget that I even have any kind of visual disability. I'm just going about my day and doing it. It's not. You don't wake up in the day and go, "Oh my God, I can't see behind my head. I have a visual disability." You just accept what you have. You see in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I accept. I see what I see. So you gotta be really grateful, though. Be really, really grateful for what you have. And when you see somebody who's disabled, they're a person in there.
Oh, for sure.
There's
I know,
a regular person in
you
there.
know, like it's. Yeah, like you never want to wear like a victim card. Like I don't want to wear a victim card from some of the shit I've been through, right? And like you don't want to like show up, like wearing like the handicap badge, right? Like you don't want to. Yeah, like be a victim. You're resilient and you've bounced back, and now you are different. And yes, you may require a couple more steps of accommodation, but yeah, the terms of disability, I don't really like the term disability. It's like, you just need
modified ability. It's more
Yeah.
than modified ability. I have to modify the way it works.
Yeah.
But the reality is, there's people in this world that run giant corporations. That take Elon Musk. He has a disability. He can't run his company without 70 people.
Yeah, there are a lot of different disabilities in that world.
Take his 70 people away and see if he can run his company.
Yeah, I know.
So it's the same thing. Like I have an entourage around me now, and thank God the accident didn't. Well, I don't know. Some people argue, but it didn't damage my brain. Some people disagree about that, but it didn't. I still can, and that's the one thing.
I think it probably improved your brain, if anything, because you had like so much time to like reflect.
Some people
life.
say, Kevin, stop, slow down. You don't have to do all this. Maybe. Maybe it's true. But I'm enjoying my life. Now it's not as bad as it was. Pretty bad 2 years ago.
I'm sure it was. So where are you at right now? What's new? What's upcoming? What are you excited about in life?
I'm talking to you about it because I have a surgery in a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's to take this left eye and make it from 80% synthetic to 7% synthetic. So they're gonna remove the buckle, all the silicone oil, and they're gonna put organic stuff back into my eyes. So there's not a rejection, because there's a constant rejection every day from these things. So that should be good, and that should work out well. And then I have one more surgery to do on the right eye. That's a little more serious in 2 months. But I'm gonna get through this. It's okay with the other ones.
You will. You know it now. You know it now.
And the worst case scenario is I go blind. I already went through this.
Yeah. Or we'll die. I can die any day, right? You know.
No, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I have to do it. So yeah, that. And then yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Okay, you have such a powerful story. Like, yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Like, yeah.
I can't give up. Like, I cannot even believe some days I just was like thinking to myself, okay, I'm just gonna go back to Florida, live with my brother, be a disabled person, wait till I mean, there are moments where I actually was just gonna give up, you know? And you just can't do that. You don't know what your future has for you, you know? So, and also that is part of life. Like, we're all going through a struggle.
Yeah.
And life is, okay, it's kind of like a video game. What is a video game? A video game is where did you get based on a challenge?
Yeah, like what boss have you had to fight? What boss have you had to fight?
It's
Like
all
what
about
level?
that.
You know, and like, you know, the more bosses you fight, the more you discover, and you earn your stores, and like maybe eat some mushrooms along the way.
Yeah, look, every movie has some like things that happen and some difficulty. There's a climate. Yeah, it's not like, hey, this person walked on the street, you know, and was happy, and then at the end. It doesn't look like that.
I know, yeah. As a woman, I always like say that, like, you know, sometimes I like living like a chick flick where it's like, you know, the woman, she falls down, she loses everything, she loses, you know, she like divorces her husband, she loses the job, she falls down, she's stupid or whatever, but then she bounces back up, and you know, as the plot line goes, then she gets the career, then she, you know, finds the cool job, and and like, you know, it's like a roller coaster.
Speaking of that, I was thinking about my second year of this recovery, and this is when I was a little bit past the surgeries, and I couldn't see perfect, or not great, but I could kind of get around. I could start seeing my phone again barely, and I spent an entire year, obviously not working, but jumping on this train to that bus to this place to that. I mean, I went more places than most people ever will in 10 years. Okay, every day was an adventure. I was just going here, going there, meeting this person, and I was just like, it was insane. And I look back at it now, I was like, that was like one of the most fun years I ever had in my entire life. And I was maybe overcompensating in the moment. Maybe that's the reason why I was doing it. I didn't realize it unconsciously. I was doing that, but as I was doing it, I was like writing this story. I was looking at my iPhoto library, and yes, I could see it. It was beautiful, and I was, you know, of course, close up and whatever. But I'm looking at the stuff, and I'm like, I did this and that. I got right there, like, and then looking at the dates, it was like April 14th, April 15th, April 18th, April. I'm like, I did all of this, Santa Barbara. This place. Like, I couldn't believe how much I was doing. And that made me feel like everybody,
it was a personal like challenge and marathon. Like,
everyone, including myself, were just lazy, just sitting in the house doing nothing.
I did the same thing. Like before COVID even hit, I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and I just started traveling and just hitting the road, and like, yeah, like
awesome.
I know, and like as a
you
personal challenge,
talk to anybody you want.
I know, I love traveling solo. I love traveling solo because it tests like your independence, and it has flexed my ability, I know, to meet people wherever I go and discover the cool people and the underground stories, and that I think that's why I discovered this new career as a journalist, because I'm just really good at being like, I don't know, finding cool people and asking them the inquisitive questions, and the more you get out there and challenge yourself to like just be brave and alone in the world by yourself and test your independence.
I was going around with this 5-foot dragon, the one on Instagram, little yellow dragon on Instagram. I was walking around everywhere with this thing, and part of the reason why I was doing that is because I couldn't see very well, and at any moment I couldn't go 5 feet without 5 people surrounding me, and I could just ask anything I wanted, go anywhere I wanted to go, and I just was never alone.
And you know what? Like, so you have a visual disability. I have a horrible navigational disability. I have the worst sense of direction. So really I love traveling internationally by myself, and I'm just never afraid. And sometimes I say, yeah, like life is a video game when you're traveling, of like, walk 10 steps and then ask somebody. And even if I do have data on my phone, sometimes I still can't figure it out, and I'll walk around in circles. So it's always just like, walk 10 steps, ask somebody. Walk 10 steps, ask somebody. Look at your phone, make a friend, like. Yeah.
I use my phone in such a different way now that other people look at me using it and go, I want to do that. I don't know why you don't. I mean, it just makes so much sense to use it in a way that as if you would.
You should teach me, because I walk around in circles all the time. There's probably
I ask
people
you to
like
do
laugh at me,
everything.
like help this girl, where is she?
No, I ask it to do everything. It sends everything for me, texts everything for me,
Okay.
finds everything for me.
Yeah, you
because
need to teach me some of your tricks. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for the interview. I think we're gonna have dinner pretty soon here. We're in Kevin's mansion here. It is a mansion.
A mini one.
A mini mansion? How many rooms do you have here?
7. 7 bedrooms.
7 bedrooms. Yeah, and how many floors?
4, but the bottom one is. No, there's 4.
Yeah, well, guys, it's a gorgeous space. Thank you so much for the hospitality, Kevin.
Of course.
Yeah, let's eat.
Okay.
Let's drink, and help me figure out how to navigate my way through life, because clearly you've learned a lot. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.